Good day everyone. So today we will tackle about Gulliver's Travel by Jonathan Swift. So before we go to the summary of the story, we will talk about first who is Jonathan Swift. So Jonathan Swift was born on November 30, 1667 and died on October 19, 1745. He was an Anglo-English writer who became Dean of St. Patrick's Cathedral. Swift is remembered for works such as A Tale of a Tub, an argument against abolishing Christianity, Travels, of course, and A Modest Proposal. He is regarded by the Encyclopedia Britannica as the foremost prose satirist in the English language. He originally published all of his works under pseudonyms including including Lemuel Gulliver in the Gulliver's Travel, Isaac Bickerstaff, M.D. Draper, or anonymously. He was a master of two styles of satire, the Horatian and the Juvenalian styles. So, Swift resided in Trim, County Meath after 1700s. So he wrote many of his work during this period. So in February 1702, Swift received his Doctor of Divinity degree from Trinity College, Dublin. So that spring, he traveled to England and then returned to Ireland in October. So accompanied by Esther Johnson and his friend Rebecca Dingley, another member of the William Temple's household. There is a great mystery and controversy over Swift's relationship with Esther Johnson, nicknamed Stella. So, many, notably his close friend Thomas Sheridan, believe that they were secretly married in 1716. Others, like Swift's housekeeper, Mrs. Brent, and Rebecca Dingley, who lived with Stella all through her years in Ireland, dismissed the story as absurd. So Swift certainly did not wish her to marry anyone else. So in 1704, when their mutual friend William Tisdall informed Swift that he intended to propose to Stella, Swift wrote him to dissuade him from the idea. So, although the tone of the letter was courteous, Swift privately expressed his disgust for Tisdall as an interloper, and they were estranged for many years. So, mao to ang background ni Jonathan Swift, sa author sa Gulliver's Travel. So, Gulliver's Travel includes four voyages. So first is I will tackle the first and the second voyage of Gulliver. So Gulliver's Travel is a long story. Now, I will just give the summary of the first and the second travel of Gulliver's. So Gulliver's Travel is a first-person narrative that is told from the point of view of Lemuel Gulliver, who is the protagonist of the story. So the background of Lemuel Gulliver is he is a surgeon, and then he became the sea captain. He was married, then have two children. And since he is not contented in his life as a surgeon and he wanted to like explore the seas, so he became the sea captain. So in the first travel, Gulliver is the only survival of the shipwreck, and he swims to Lilliput. But in the other version is just he collapsed and their ship was being eaten by the big waves. Then he is unconscious and find himself laying in the sand in the island of Lilliput. Then when he woke up, where he is tied up by the people who are less than 6 inches or like 15 centimeter tall, or like kanang murag gamay kay gyud sa kamot ra niya, sa kumagko ra niya. Then he is then taken to the capital city and eventually released. Kay gidala siya dito sa king, kay kay abi man to sa mga Lilliputians og giant ang tawag sa iya. So abi nila og threat to si Gulliver because they have kanang na ang kontra na island which is the Blefusco. Then di conclude na Gulliver is someone na gipadala sa Blefusco para i-ruin ilahang island, or ni ana sila nga hala kanon minimo, or hala gubon nimo mong island, or like that. Then diba, the Lilliputians are small size mirrors their small mindedness. Kung gamay kay sila, so dali ra kay sila talo-taloan kay gamay po daw ilang utok sa moto. Char lang. Dayon, ko. They indulge in ridiculous customs and petty debates. So political affiliations, for example, are divided between men who wear high-heeled shoes, symbolic of the English Tories, and those who were low ones, representing the English Whigs. And the court positions are filled with those who are best at rope dancing. So kini sila is kanang ginakuan jud sa ilang gina-push jud sa ilang king. The Lilliputians are brave, courageous. So kanang ginatest ilang courage kung taman. So kanang every year mag-conduct sila og kana bitang drug test nga, maglatay sila sa roof, tapos i-test kung mahagbong sila or dili, kung hadlok sila or dili. So mga to lang basehan kung brave ba or dili. So then Gulliver is asked to help and defend Lilliput against the Empire of Blefusco, since nakakuan mo to ni Gulliver na prove niya nga dili siya threat sa Lilliputians. So kanang nani ana ang king nga sige kauban na ta kanang na ang i-defend minimo sa island nga Blefusco kay basin ila haming anhion dere dayon pamakyon me. So with which Lilliput is war over which end of an egg should be broken. So this being a matter of religious doctrine. So Gulliver captures Blefusco's naval fleet kuning adto man taga Blefusco dito ang ilang army ni adto sa island sa Lilliput. Dayon abot dito kay gibira ni Gulliver kay dako biya kay to si Gulliver nya gagmay biya kay tong mga mga army nila so mo to, then thus preventing an invasion, but declines to assist the emperor of Lilliput in conquering Blefusco. Kuming ana din ang king nga kanang naang hala sige mapildi naman din nato ni Blefusco no kay naman din si Gulliver, so dapat atong sakupan ang Blefusco. Din ana si Gulliver nga la dili man pud pwede no kay syempre daog na pud mudaan kay naog ko dako ugay ko, so dapat kanang naang inyo nang solbaron inyong problema nga kamo lang. So later Gulliver is sumauto nga nang naang naadton tong kanang army sa Blefusco dito sa ilang island then gipabombahan tong kanang palace sa king, then kanang naang anak then si Gulliver kay naratol na tong mga tao, then ana si Gulliver na ana ko idea unsa na ko pagpalong ang kanang naang kalayo. So ihian niya ang palace, so mo to nga napalong ang kalayo, but that kanang naang doesn't impress the king. So ana ang king nga kanang naang sige lakaw na lang dito pangitag laing lugar nga ganahan ka kay kung dili ka mo support sa mo diri sa Lilliputians dili na namo ka kinahanglan. So mao to nga si Gulliver ning balhin siya dito sa island sa Blefusco. So dito gi-accept siya sa king, then pagkahuman na ang king nga may gali no wala minimo conquer kanang friends gihapon ta, so kanang tagaan pa siya favor sa king dito. Then naman to yung ship nakitaan man to dito, then kanang naang gipaayon niya dito sa mga army sa Blefusco, then nagpatabang siya dito sa king. Then mo to nga kanang naang he goes back to kanang naang England, then mo to yang kanang adventure sa Lilliput o sa Blefusco nga islands. Mo to yung first voyage. So the second voyage is the Gulliver in Brobdingnag. So in Gulliver in Brobdingnag, the land of giants. So diri is money ang second voyage. So Gulliver's second voyage takes him to Brobdingnag, inhabited by the race of giants. So dito sa Lilliput is siya ang giant, but in the Brobdingnag is siya na pud ang gamay kay dito nga lugar is mga giant naman pud ang nagpuyo dito. So kanang A farm worker finds Gulliver and delivers him to the farm owner. So nakita dito man siya nakuan sa farm bitaw dayon nakitaan siya tong farmer din gikuha siya din gi-deliver siya sa farm owner din kanang naang gibaligya na pud siya didto sa king dayon gipalit siya didto din gihimo siyang mura bitaw siya entertainer dayon mura siya gihimong dal sa anak sa king bitaw nga babae din mauto. Then one day, the queen orders the farmer to bring Gulliver to her and she purchases Gulliver. So, he becomes a favorite at court, though the king reacts with contempt when Gulliver recounts the splendid achievements of his own civilization. So, diba, entertainer to siya, then gipanaminaw siya, then murag ganahan po ang king sa iya aso, murag na siya katungod nga mag-speak up for himself, mag-talk siya nga, hala, yung ani ang civilization sa England, lahi dito sa amua, then anak, then kanang among kuan dito, society, lahi, kanang murag improve kaayo, dili pariha diri nga murag nabiya mo so ngana ang so wala man nalipay ang king ato so kanang na ang na to. So, the king responds to Gulliver's description of the government and history of England by concluding that the English must be a race of odious vermin. So, Gulliver offers to make gunpowder and cannon for the king, but the king is horrified by the thought of such weaponry. Ana si Gulliver na, nga may mga kontra, pag himura mo gun cannon, so kanang mag-imbento lang tag ana din anang king hala dili pwede di ko ganahan siyang kanang iya nga idea kay murag kanang barbaric ra kaayo. So, si Gulliver ana ang king sige uli na si Gulliver kung asa na siya gikan so gisakay siya sa boat din diba gamay man kito siya din gasulod siya sa cage din kanang na ang well na travel sila sa sea naman to'y eagle the eagle plucked him tapos nabira siya din lupad ang eagle din nahagbong siya sa sea din mauto nga kanang na nakita na po siya siyang mga kauban nga travelers din gipasakay siya sa ilang ship then he goes back England to see his family na pod. So, mao to yaha second voyage dito sa Brobdingnag.
On Gulliver's third voyage, after 2 months, he is set adrift by pirates and eventually ends up on the floating island of Laputa. The people of Laputa all have one eye pointing inward and the other upward, and they are so lost and thought that they must be reminded to pay attention to the world around them. Though they are greatly concerned with mathematics and with music, they have no practical application for their learning. So, the knowledge that Laputa people have is useless and they cannot use their knowledge with astronomy, music, and a science to apply in their real life situations. So, Laputa is the home of the king of Balnibarbi. So, the island of Balnibarbi were pirates who captured Gulliver. So, Gulliver is permitted to leave the island and visit Lagado. So, the next island that he visits is Lagado, the capital city of Balnibarbi. He finds the farm fields in ruin and people living in the pine squalor. Gulliver's host explains that the inhabitants follow the prescriptions of a learned academy in the city, where scientists undertake such wholly impractical projects as extracting sunbeams from cucumbers. So, the island has the island doing useless scientific projects in Lagado. Later, Gulliver visits Glubudrip and the island of sorcerers, and there he speaks the great men of the past and learns from them the lies of history. So, in Glubudrip, Gulliver meets the ghosts of famous people. And after that, in the kingdom of Lugnag, he meets the Strogburgs, who are immortal but each as thought they were mortal, and are thus miserable. So, after visiting to Slugdrubdrib, Gulliver went to Lugnag, where he meets the immortal people but they doesn't look old. From Lugnag, he is able to sail to Japan and then back to England. So, the final voyage of Gulliver in the kingdom of Huenen. Gulliver in the Kingdom of the Houyhnhnm, Houyhnhnms, where Houyhnhnms live. Houyhnhnms are a race of intelligent horses. So the 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 people of Houyhnhnms is called Yahoos, um, who are who described as brutish, filthy, greedy, and degenerate humanoid race. Some of whom they have tamed an ironic twist in the human-beast relationship. The Houyhnhnms are very curious about Gulliver, who seems to be both a Yahoo and civilized. So, since Gulliver is a human being, so the Houyhnhnms describe him also as Yahoos. Houyhnhnms are horses that are very virtuous, and they have decency, unlike the Yahoos. So Gulliver then returns to England, so disgusted with humanity as he avoids his family and buys horses and converses with them instead. So as a result of as Gulliver discovered that Houyhnhnms are more virtuous than human beings because they are Yahoos, so he then avoided human beings. Instead, he buy horses and talk to them. Okay, let's proceed to the story analysis. Gulliver's Travel is a profound satirical critique of human nature and society crafted by Jonathan Swift. Through the lens of Lemuel, Gulliver's Fantastical Voyages, Swift explores the absurdities and foolish of human behavior. So in Lilliput, the prettiness of political conflict is highlighted as Gulliver becomes embroiled in the tribal quarrels between the tiny inhabitants. This serves as a reflection of the absurdity of real-world politics, where power struggle often overshadow meaningful governance. The Lilliputians' ridiculous customs and their obsession with honor and status reveal the superficiality of societal values. And in Brobdingnag, Swift flips that perspective by introducing a world of giants, where Gulliver's small stature renders him vulnerable and powerless. So this inversion of rules challenges the reader's understanding of size and significance, suggesting that moral and intellectual superiority, size, and significance. Suggesting that moral and intellectual superiority does not correlate with physical dominance. So the Brobdingnag king's disdain from European society acts as stark contrast to Gulliver's earlier pride in his homeland. Through this encounter, Swift critiques the moral decay of humanity, illustrating how civilization can often lead to barbarism masked by cultural sophistication. And later voyages to Laputa and the land of poems further deepen the analysis of reasons, science, and human nature. The Laputians engross in abstract science devoid of practical application, symbolize the dangers of intellectual detachment and the failure to engage with reality. Conversely, the rational poems represented an idea of reason and virtue, contrasting sharply with the brutish Yahoos who embody the darker aspects of humanity. So, Gulliver's ultimate disillusionment with human beings reflects Swift's grim view of humanity, suggesting that despite our advancement, we remain susceptible to our basest instincts. This tragic realization culminates in Gulliver's withdrawal from society, as he grapples with the contradictions of human nature and complexities of civilization. That's all. Thank you.